really getting.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is Commission Talks. I am joined with my boys, Dre on Wheels from the 1130 podcast, and my boy, the Disney reference of them all, Shiz Linsky from Off the Top Ropes podcast. How y'all doing, fellas?
What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? What's going on?
Hey, man. I mean, Christmas is literally right around the corner. I mean, obviously, y'all got some big plans going on for the holidays?
Family business, man. That's pretty much just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Dre?
No, I ain't got none. Too many plans though. Right now, though, I ain't even gone Christmas shopping. I ain't even done no Christmas shopping yet. So I'm trying to get some of that done and enjoy Christmas though.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, shout out to Josh Torres. What up, boys? How's it going, man? Hope you enjoyed it.
What up? Sabi, what up, bro?
Hey, guys. All right. So we are on Commission Talks. It is Wednesday, fellas. 5 p.m. Eastern time. That means we are about to chat it up and talk about some pro wrestling. Guys, the wrestling that we have seen so far this week. What have y'all been thinking about?
Who gonna go first?
You can go first.
All right. Wrestling as far as this week goes, well, what you want to start with? Monday Night Raw, NXT so far? It been what it been? I mean, it been great. We got WWE Day 1 coming up. Anything specifically? It been cool.
Hey, just all in general. I mean, obviously we got Raw. Raw's being Raw. There's not really much on it. I think the only thing that caught my eyes a little bit was I like the thing that they did with Bobby Lashley a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. Usually don't see that type of gauntlet thrown on a heel persona. I thought that was kind of a cool way of how they did that, because usually that's a baby face to chase, trying to just chase them and just keep going, try to do the David versus Goliath type storyline. So that was pretty cool to see. And I actually liked how it drew all out. I thought it was pretty neat on that. Also, we just found out Kevin Owens just re-signed with WWE. So obviously there's something in the works for Mr. KO. Shiz, what do you think about what's been going on with Monday Night Raw so far?
Trash. It's nothing more, nothing to fuck last, okay? The whole show was the heels bashing on baby faces. No baby faces won the whole entire event. So why should I care for? And Bobby Lashley was only added ante to the fire because WWE was afraid that Kevin Owens was going to walk out the door. And as you already spoke about, has actually been confirmed earlier that he did sign a new multi-year deal to stay with WWE. So now he's stuck into 2024, 2025. So of course, they just fed him a bigger bag just for him to stay. He pulled a Randy Orton. Randy Orton did the same thing when he was trying to hint, like, yo, maybe I might want to make that move when my contract expires and shit. But, he played right to Randy booked his handbook, and he used it to his advantage. Now he got a bigger bag for him to stay. So kudos to KO. NXT, I wasn't even watching that shit last night. I was watching The Simpsons. Okay, so nothing on NXT intrigues me anymore because majority of all the faces that I love are gone, except for one person. And once he walks out the door, there's nothing really to hold me back to watch it. The only reason why I have no other choice to sacrifice to watch it, because our fellow boy Carmelo Hayes, boss's own, is North American champion. So without him being there in the forefront, I really don't think you would ever really catch me watching NXT at all. Until, you want to give your whole fucking Disney references. Bring back Simba.
Bring back Simba. Hey, shout out to Bad Book 1. Hope you're doing well, man. And Josh Torres put Raw was sleepy. So, oh, Lord. All right. So, obviously, everybody's kind of got the same mindset of what happened with Monday Night Raw. But the one segment I do want to talk about, I think we should actually have a nice little fantasy type booking type scenario, is the Hall of Fame. Apparently Miz inducted himself into the Hall of Fame. All right, guys. So I thought we should have some fun with that a little bit. So if y'all could book who to be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year, who would it be and why? Dre, go ahead first, bro.
Okay. I think I'll start with a woman. I think a long overdue woman who had a great run in WWE. I would say Victoria. Victoria was a former WWE Women's Champion. And a lot of women who, wrestled, in that area at time has, gone into the Hall of Fame or, been legends in the wrestling business, along, with Jazz also, So I think Victoria and Jazz, because them was like one of my two favorite women wrestlers in that area of time that worked so hard. So I think, they could go. I mean, it's a lot of people though, but them the two women that came to my mind off top. So Victoria and Jazz.
Okay, so you got Victoria and Jazz for the women. Now, who you got for the male aspect, buddy? And also, remember, you also got a celebrity that you also get to induct as well.
Yeah. I for the Warrior Award, definitely Shad Gaspar. Obviously they're gonna definitely probably induct someone in the celebrity wing. I don't know. I really don't know right now who they're gonna induct in the celebrity wing though. But there's some other guys. Who else? Some long overweighted guys who should be in the Hall of Fame already.
I remember we're in Dallas, so they're in Dallas, Texas now. Yeah. They got to bring some of the hometown guys in there.
Undertaker is, definitely a rumored one. He may go in the Hall of Fame or long, so. They're the only ones that I can think of at the moment right now.
All right, Shiz, who you got, bro?
Nobody. No, I'm playing. Nobody. It's not even a real Hall of Fame. Go to the National Wrestling Hall of fucking Fame and then let's have that conversation. Because a lot of people, when you talk about WWE Hall of Fame, there's only a selective few. And you got to really think like who hasn't been in the Hall of Fame yet, who's trying to get into the Hall of Fame, and who haven't even who's haven't even in that conversation. There's a lot of people that you may lose thought of that you'd be like, you know what? It's about time for him and her and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Cyber. Bring back the black and gold NXT, pump motherfuckers. Anyway, I can't even think about the Hall of Fame right now because there's no one I can really think is even worthy enough to even go into that bitch, to really be honest. And besides what Dre was saying earlier, who else? That either had no accolade or did some type of or made some type of needle mover during the Attitude Era. I don't know. Road Dogg should never be the fucking there, but he's already in DX, so he can go in for a second time. I don't know.
I mean, with New Age Outlaws, but I don't think Billy Gunn will get put in there again.
No, it's not going to happen.
Steve Blackman?
Huh?
Steve Blackman?
Shamrock, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
There's still a few people, but that's a very
Josh Torres put Undertaker.
That's a very fucking selective. Besides the Undertaker, which more doubtly, if that is gonna be his Hall of Fame speech, then that's what he's not coming back in the ring at all anymore. Once he accepts that, and I have a funny feeling that that's not gonna happen anyway. Saudi Arabia, when that money comes, Vince calls, he answers.
Hey, that's all I gotta say about that. I think the Brothers of Destruction might get put in. I think that'd be a pretty nice little duo type scenario. But if Taker's doing it himself, I think obviously he's going to be in there personally. I think this year would be the best one, knowing that they're in this hometown area and stuff like that. Female wise, I would definitely say Jazz. Jazz is one hell of a hand. I mean, the matches that she did with Trish were really, really impressive and stuff. And her and Victoria brought a different style to that women's division at that time. I mean, they really showed that those girls could go in a way and give them more than 5-minute matches. Obviously, we say Trish and Lita were those pioneer ones, whatever, on that. But I think Jazz and Victoria were a huge hand with it, especially with Molly Holly, too. I think Molly Holly did get inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'm not totally sure yet.
She did.
She did? Okay,
yeah.
So I would definitely probably say Jazz or Victoria for the women's. Male, obviously, The Undertaker would be the marquee one. Dang. I wouldn't say New Age. I keep wanting to say the New Age Outlaws, but that wouldn't happen because Billy Gunn with AEW.
I mean, the whole 2-time, 3-time WWE Hall of Famer. I think that's a little overused now. Like, can we just go with a guy who just haven't been in? And I think once Ric Flair became 2-time, then they just start overdoing it, putting DX in it twice, NWO in it, yeah. So come on, like,
yeah,
like just put somebody in it and just let it be, like.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
just
agree
how I
with
feel. That's definitely how I feel.
I actually like the idea of maybe it was Steve Blackman. I mean, Steve Blackman is from that area and stuff like that. So,
but what the fuck did he do? But what the fuck did he really do? Besides become a hardcore champion, but they didn't really utilize him at all. Shit, besides only one specific set of matches.
I mean, didn't they doink the clown?
Fucking people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, perfect person would be Christian too. But he's in AEW right now as well. There's a lot of people that we're not thinking about straight that we're like, yo, what about Al Snow? But like I just asked a question about Steve Blackman.
He's with Impact, I think, right? Al Snow, I mean, yeah, probably something with the hardcore types in there. Bad Book 1 said doink, no doink. So,
but they gotta get the doink from ECW though. He was more darker and grittier and shit. The one from WWE, like after when
it was just a comedian thing
came into play, that's when it went sour. But when he first came in and they was trying to pull off a Joker-esque type of character with him at first, it was working. For me, it was. But then when it came, to him being the face, I was like, no, it's not gonna work. This is what's done. And when you fall in line with the gimmick era of WWE, you see where that fit him right into that. That's why you got lost in that vortex. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. I like that. So Josh Torres put in the next few years we will see the tag teams of the early 2000s get in, and I'm talking about the Hardys, Edge, and Christian. What do y'all feel about that?
Cyber, you must be nuts right now because you're just waiting for the Irish Whip podcast so we can go on the full-blown tirade spree. He has a point to that. Brody definitely has a point to that. Definitely Edge and Christian, but that's the only way Christian's actually done with AEW or just.
I still think he would still get put in, even though he's an AEW guy.
But it's gonna look frowned upon certain people, and you know how the fans are. The fans don't give a fuck. It's like you either team AEW or team WWE. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what if I'm team neither?
See,
because both
I want to say this
strong points and his weaknesses too. So you just like to exploit the best things to try to promote that and make sure that you're getting that company that you love over.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing I do want to address on this. We sit here, we see that WWE and AEW, we feel like those two are at war. We feel like those two, it's like you're either like with Shiz from Boston. That's like y'all saying y'all from the y'all the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Like y'all are two completely distant teams. Like y'all, it's one team or the other. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts of that. WWE, I don't think is shunning AEW like all fan bases are. And I believe that Vince, in the long run, is trying to make a longevity with it as a whole. Crap product for WWE, okay. You can go watch what you were looking for in AEW and stuff like, or MLW, Impact, all that stuff. Vince has literally have said it. The only wrestling company he thought that was competition close to him was Impact, and he thought he completely threw them out the water a long time ago. And he said that on a podcast. I remember that. But other than that, I mean, he hasn't really seen it as like competition per se. So obviously, where we say Team WWE and Team AEW. There's so many other ones, but those are the two that people are very set on. But Dark Ninja Panda said WWE sucks. Now NXT is dog crap.
Listen, until when that man Triple H comes back and fights off his father-in-law, and as I told y'all, and as I said this, I shared y'all this shit earlier, how the McMahon family is kind of like split right now because the situation was going on with Triple H and shit. But they should have knew that from a long ass fucking time ago, and they just didn't think otherwise. If Vince was trying to groom one person, then you let him down the wrong path, and then now you're looking at another person with no wrestling experience to try to run your company. Good luck with that, folks. Good luck with that. I love to see this thing now really get sold to Disney. All I'm just waiting for WWE is now up for sale, and everybody's going to start shitting their pants. I'd be like, told you. That means people is not interested in the sport anymore. Then without them, what's AEW going to do?
And I think that's another thing too. If WWE if WWE did sell like tomorrow or something like that, and we all sit here and praise AEW the way it is, but I think that will deteriorate also if WWE is no more, because we've said it numerous times. I think WWE has fallen victim to their own success. They have literally eliminated so many visuals for so long. Now there's nothing new that we see in the product anymore. There's nothing we can sit here and look at. Go ahead.
I want to say this. Like everything, history repeats itself. All of this is a repeat cycle of life, and and what WWE is, as we live in life right now. Back in the 80s when WWE was at its height, and you had Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and all those guys, and Andre the Giant, and then by the early 90s, it went downhill for a lot of guys, and a lot of them guys weren't there no more. They were in like WCW or NWA or whatever it was, that was the thing. And then, WCW got big. And as we see with AEW right now, AEW ain't competition to WWE. It's polished. It's nice. It comes off really, really great. They got guys that us as fans invested time in and wanted to see in WWE, and thought that, like a Keith Lee who came up from an NXT to come to a main roster, that you thought it was going to do well, but they didn't utilize him well. And guys like Adam Cole, who you hear the stories of, he was going to be a manager or so. But AEW is what AEW is. It's new, and it got a lot of new guys, sort of say, but you got all these other WWE guys. It's just like how WCW were. The only thing is that you don't have the NWO. That's how I see it. I mean, a lot of other guys like Malachi Black, Andrade, Pac, Darby, just a lot of guys get their time to shine. And I don't think that was the case back in WCW. But even though they are still gaining a whole lot of talent, unused talent, overused talent from WWE, I think that's just one thing that's throwing certain people off, with AEW though. But wrestling is going to be wrestling. I heard somebody say Raw is the lowest rating is going to always be the lowest rating, because that amount of people is just going to stick and watch WWE regardless. They just going to be the diehard fans of WWE, and that's just going to is what it is. Now,
right.
The future is to behold, to be seen with wrestling right now.
Right. I like that perspective on that. Dark Ninja said WWE is starting to be the next WCW.
It should be reversed. It should be AEW is starting to be the next WCW.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. But that's what I was about to reference, because I think y'all have heard me clearly when I've kept saying this. Like, yes, AEW is doing good on some products and stuff like that, but they're putting in so much. I just listened to a recent podcast from Eric Bischoff, and he was on there with I think Renee Young or something, or I don't know her name now, Paquette or something like that. And he was talking about they're going to fall victim if they keep up what they're doing. They're going to fall victim of what was the problem there. And a lot of people didn't like what he said on it. They were like, oh, he's just BSing it. He's literally just mad because he's doing that. They're doing something better and he's doing. No, I see him completely being truthful and honest about it, because there's only so many stories that you could put into these things. Like literally, hey, All right, the open door policy, which is a phenomenal thing. Obviously, they've got possibilities. They might be bringing the Briscoes to go against FTR, which I would be excited to see that match. But longevity-wise, what is that doing for you? All you're doing is bringing, hey, like a fantasy bookend match type scenario. So what I would consider it's called like, hey, so the AEW is literally giving you a fantasy show every different week type. Okay, we're gonna bring an open door match.
A super juice indie show on television.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just what it is. So if you're saying it like that, then so the way I'm gonna read it as now, AEW is no longer a pro. I mean, it is a promotion, but it's not like a wrestling territory company now. Now it's more of just an independent type of syndicate wrestling program now. That basically you'll be able to go on television or YouTube, whichever one that comes first, and basically you can come in, do whatever. The locker room's friendly. We hear and shit like that. Whatever. Sorry for knocking on my microphone. Come in, get 1 day's pay, and if you don't sign, then you can go. We ain't mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
The door's always going to be open.
It's like an application.
When you go over there, once you sign, you're there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't work nowhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Different companies.
All right, man.
Policies. But one key policy that we do know: once you sign on the dotted line, your soul is gone. But we go over here, you can sign like a one-match deal and get in and get out, or get paid as a regular independent worker, right? Right after we get done, here's your bread. Thank you for your service. If we need you, we'll call you.
It's really like an independent show, literally. And I mean, you like that better? Like, but obviously,
wait. Now, Dark Ninja, WWE has been around before me. You probably wasn't even conceived, right? So AEW has had 2 years worth. 2 years worth. So compared to that 2 years, I'm not expecting them until when that company goes public and IPOs, and now stars got to get the fuck involved, which AEW would never do. They would never catch up to the same plateau as WWE.
No.
So
I think
that's just the answer to his question.
Hey, you all three got good points, and you guys are right though. AEW is 2 years old. It's the new toy. Everybody loves it. And
it's a new candy bar.
Yeah, and everybody say, "Oh man, it's gonna be the new thing, and it's taking over WWE."
New game system.
No, it's not. It's not. Like AEW is not in as many places and viewed as many as WWE, whether their ratings are down or not.
Plus, until AEW goes to Madison Square Garden and sell out that arena, they'll be able to go every other main forum sports arena in America and sell out like WWE does. No, they're not going to be that. They're going to college levels and work your way up to there, because Vince got the upper hand when it comes to that market.
Yeah, you're right. But I think it's a good thing for them to go to them smaller arenas and stop trying to go to a 15 or 17, 18,000 seat venue where it's easily to sell out a 10 or 20,000 seat venue. Now, that AEW is a hot commodity that it is. So I think that's what they should do. Obviously, they're not going to, go to these big venues. WWE got a block on them and whatnot. But, AEW is just, it's going to be what it is. AEW now ain't beating WWE, but they are building.
I was looking at it too. I mean, and like what we've literally have addressed this numerous times. It's good. It's new. It's bringing something new, refreshed and stuff. But learn to stay in your lane. And you are still putting too much botches out there to be sitting here saying, hey, wrestling. You know what pro wrestling TV needs. Like stuff like that. I'm sorry. I can't be on the train where you literally ruin a segment with Chris Jericho and MJF, where MJF threw Chris Jericho off a cage and landed in cardboard. That is bad management on idea of how to put a visual together. Because literally, that could have been one of your death-defying things. People would have been buzzing all over social media.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Bad book, right? So that's the problem with AEW then. Their production is not higher than WWE's. That's why no matter what, the glitz and glamour is always going to attract the people the most. Sorry, folks. We're living in a society where the flashiest, the most money, the flashy cars and shit is what to get you the most attention, not for your hardware that you bring in and day out, and you're being misused. That's what's going on, and we're seeing that in the wrestling industry today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in sports itself. I mean, in sports in general.
And then we'll talk. But until when they get to the bigger arenas, they're not being WWE right now.
Yeah, they're not, and don't get it twisted though. Like AEW, see the thing about AEW,
we like what they're doing. I like
what they do. I think one thing that they really have is they have the fans invested. Now, when I turn on to a Monday Night Raw, the crowd will be, it'll be shifty at times. Definitely on SmackDown.
What you're getting.
Yeah, definitely on SmackDown because Roman Reigns, the fans are glued in.
And that's why the ticket sales are so goddamn low, because if they know what's going to happen, why waste your money to go? You rather go home and watch it on television or set it on DVR and watch the shit later. Or do what other people have done for years. Watch the highlights on YouTube. And if you're smart enough to piece of shit together, then you should know what the fuck happens. Because this is why I'm on the break right now, so I don't have to watch it because I can already pinpoint it.
He can already visualize what's going on over there.
Yeah, I'm like, no, wake me up when it's January then.
Wake me up. I mean, Rumble might help it out. I mean, obviously the big pay-per-views, I think,
that's
still. I think that's really the only reason why people still pay attention to WWE. I feel like it's a dry spout. I've been a victim of it for a long time. I didn't even draw into it when The Rock came back. When The Rock came back on Valentine's Day.
Tables, ladders, and chairs. I don't know why that they took away tables, ladders, and chairs to replace that with Day One right now. I just don't. I really just don't. You get more violent that way and shit like that. More people would get a little more violent, but because of this watered down baby formula bullshit, it basically, let's remember what Extreme Rules was this year. So I mentioned tables, ladders, and chairs. I probably would have been crying and throwing a brick at my TV screen. Because now they they fucking killed it. That's why they took it away and replaced it with Day One.
I would say the base thing I would say on it is these specialty matches, don't let them all regularly happen every year. Like, make something different in that perspective. Like what we said about Extreme Rules. There was only one match. One match that had Extreme Rules, and it wasn't.
All the cards have specialty matches on it, at least.
Not necessarily. No. No, that's something I've learned off the indies. That's something that you don't do, because say like on an indie show, if you I've learned so many times when I was on a show when they have a steel cage in there, you would have to do a whole thing of steel cage matches, or you're going to just watch everybody set up a steel cage in the ring during commission time, whatever. So it's like you literally had to just all right, match after match after match. So tell me, if they had a steel cage for, say, like a pay-per-view called Steel Cage, you expect every match to be in that steel cage?
If you're stupid enough to put it and name the pay-per-view a steel cage.
No. This is just an example. It's just an example, though. A lot
of people's lives watching nothing but steel cage matches. That's like me watching UFC right now. What's the difference?
But you wouldn't get tired of watching a steel cage match.
I get tired of watching UFC. What's the difference? What's the fucking difference? They're both in a fucking cage. They don't fight outside of that shit, right? Right.
I mean, but what I'm saying is the example is, say, like how we said Extreme Rules. You want every match
UFC
exactly
all year
that.
Round, or you the same thing. You're only talking about one pay-per-view with nothing but steel cage matches. One. Compared to a whole year's worth. And UFC is every single fucking month. Yeah.
Bad Book said Extreme Rules is a joke. So he agrees with all of
my things with the gimmick pay-per-views and stuff like that. I'm actually glad they kind of getting away from this, because I remember at times where Hell in a Cell matches was it was special, like you just said. It was special. When the rivalry was just heating up. And another thing to what Warren said, if when they introduced I think it was the Hell in a Cell or the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Yeah, I thought every match was going to be in the Hell in a Cell or in the Elimination Chamber. I was like, okay, why not? you know, you only having 1 or 2 matches. Like it seemed a little stupid. So, you know, I want them to get away from the gimmick, you know, pay-per-views. UFC is a little different. I think that's how they do their thing. But with WWE,
I mean, you're getting put in a cage. Like that's what you're doing. 2 fighters in a cage.
Yeah, but if you haven't every
thinking about was a pay-per-view with nothing but cage matches.
Yeah, but if you have every
compared to a 12-month in a year.
Yeah, that's you're right. But if you are right. I will get sick and tired of a steel cage match if if that pay-per-view will come around and it's just, you know what? Steel cage. Like, come on. You know, but
hey, you know, to tell UFC to fight on the beach. Fight somewhere else. Bring me to somewhere else. Don't bring me to inside some dark ass stadium and shit like that. I don't want to keep seeing that over and over and over again.
Yeah, I agree with you like that. But what I miss is say like a Hell in a Cell on a Survivor Series pay-per-view. Yes. That's very rare. Yes. Something special. It makes it bring it so much better. It brings a better eyes. Like, oh man, they're going in the cell. Oh man, like this is going to be interesting. Something like that. Because I remember when I used to watch Hell in a Cell matches when I was a kid, I'm just like, oh man, thank goodness it ain't me. Like, And TLC when you're wrestling The Undertaker and stuff like that, man, that's what made that match.
Mm-hmm. And the TLC pay-per-views haven't really been all that. You know, we get TLC tables, ladders, and chairs and stairs, and we get a stairs match, a chairs match. Like what is a chairs match?
I mean, we put Extreme Rules in December.
I mean,
I would have been like, okay, then like that's fine with me.
Yeah, but
that book said Hell in a Cell used to mean something.
But also, there's not enough wrestlers gimmicks that you can make a gimmicky special matches anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You have no more those type of wrestlers anymore that you can create new type of matches to get new flavor and add something more to the rivalry. This is why I miss when the Undertaker. You know, Undertaker was the foundation for the body bag match, the casket match, the Hell in the Cell. You know what I'm saying? Like that gave more fuel to the fire to the rivalry, or that was the end all be all of the rivalry. Like once y'all go in, you're not gonna walk out the same, and y'all go down different paths afterwards. And it changed. It's supposed to help evolve a character, but now when you're doing it for a pay-per-view, like you guys were just talking about, it gets out there, it gets saggy, it gets old, and then now you're losing the main essence of it. Now I'm not afraid of it anymore. You know, it's like eventually you gain over your fear.
That's like I would say like how we used to see The Undertaker when we were younger. Everybody used to be terrified of that man. Man, the guy rolling his eyes, the back of his head. I mean, I remember the last promo I saw when AJ Styles was talking about, man, if this was like 10 years ago, I'd be terrified to be in the ring with you. But now, this is a joke. Like you've been in there too long. Like, why? Like, why do you keep doing this? Like, why do you keep doing it? I think that's what I see with these matches and stuff like that. When you put these things together, which I hated the idea from the beginning, them calling a pay-per-view Hell in a Cell, calling a pay-per-view TLC. I mean, stuff like that has just been like, it's so overdone. Make something new. I think NXT tried to do that, bringing the hair cutting match back together. I mean, obviously that didn't go as well, but they tried to bring that a little bit. They didn't. Obviously, you saw they put that in NXT and not into the main roster matches because a lot of people ain't getting their hair cut, even if they get big checks. But I mean, like we all agree on, like just make them mean something again. Make this match special. Hell in a Cell matches should be on very rare pay-per-views, preferably Survivor Series, or maybe, just maybe, a Wrestlemania. Those are the only ones that I could consider that being a pay-per-view for that type of match. Or if they brought back the old pay-per-view that I used to love dearly was No Mercy. I think that would have been a good idea one for that. But other than that, I'm glad they're finally easing away from the gimmick pay-per-views. Those you can only watch so much of one match every time.
Yeah, they're easing away from the gimmick pay-per-views, coming up with crazy-ass names for pay-per-views, though. I mean, No Mercy was great. You know, Unforgiven was lovable. You know,
bring them all back. Bring the old ones back. That's what I want.
Fully loaded.
Bad Blood, all of them. Cyber Tuesday, or what was it? Cyber Sunday?
And those And those
no, Cyber Sunday. I think he was right.
Yeah. And those
they used to call it taboo something, but I can't remember what it
Taboo Tuesday.
What
Taboo Tuesday, yeah. And those pay-per-views like a
New Year's resolution or revolution, I think it was.
Resolution.
They did one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the chamber, the elimination chamber one.
Yeah, where Edge casted his Money in the Bank.
Yeah. And with those pay-per-views like a Bad Blood, those can intensify the rivalries and stuff. And I think, which is needed,
Bring that back. Bring the bad PG-13 rating, and then maybe you can try to rechange some of those pay-per-views around and go back to some of the essence. But right now, they're not going to do it. They don't want to see blood on television. And I don't want to see no fake blood dripping from your forehead. It's not going to work. Sorry. Where's the blade at? Bleed, sweat, done.
Dark Ninja said they need to stop rehashing storylines.
But that's going to be every.
That's every wrestling product. That's not just WWE. That's every wrestling
promotion
product.
rehashes certain storylines from the past and
because there's nothing new
for today's.
There's no such thing as new product.
So you can't say that. One company needs to stop. All companies need to stop and just go organically. But how can you? Certain things you need to have influence from somewhere to create this. So that's what we programmed to do.
Josh Torres put Armageddon. That was actually a really good pay-per-view. I like that one.
Armageddon, that 6-man
over the edge.
Backlash was the one right after WrestleMania, right? That was one of the newer ones. That was one of the amped up ones because obviously that was the results from WrestleMania. They redid them all over.
They need to bring the King of the Ring pay-per-view.
Yeah. That's one thing I thought when they did the network. I thought when they did the network and stuff, they should have brought their own type of pay-per-views that literally you had to watch on the network. And then obviously the other ones you can put on somewhere else. But they never figured that out. Like when they did the Peacock thing, I thought that's what they were going to do with the NXT product for a little bit. Was just put it on Peacock, whatever. No, it's all over. If you brought a little bit of a special angle show that literally makes you tune into something, it will bring your eyes to the product so much more. And like how
they got lazy with it. They got lazy with it. With the WWE network, it was
they got too content. There's no competition. That's what they're seeing it as. There's no competition. Why do we need to upgrade? Why fix it if it ain't broken? In their eyes, they don't see it broken.
Once they took NXT,
something gets old, it gets moldy and saturated and shit. And then now you got to throw the shit away because you ain't gonna eat it.
Once they took NXT off the network, it went downhill right there. That's just where it was at.
Bad Book said, "Look at movies, nothing new anymore."
Even movies, some movies have been rehashed.
Look, they got a new
stream. Has been recycled from somewhere. Always, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't say that this shit. That's why I'm like, dude, everywhere, every fucking where it has to be taken from somewhere. Everywhere, every fucking thing.
The OG King of the Ring do the full tournament in one night by Josh Torres. I agree with that. I like it. I like it.
Funny too. Fun fact, y'all. The King of the Ring, and as I was sitting here, I was working from home the last couple of days, and I was sitting here, I was watching some of the old school wrestling review. There's like the video podcast on YouTube, stuff like that, right? They talked about the King of the Ring, and fun fact was the King of the Rings was starting at house shows, and then that's how you had the various King of the Rings from the mid '80s going forward before they took it upon themselves that they need a filler pay-per-view for Hogan to drop the belt to Yokozuna in '93. That was before the whole steroid trial was about to go down. And they just made that into the pay-per-view, and that's where you've seen it more televised now from what it used to be from house shows now to pay-per-views, but it helped build up the stars. So kudos to WWE for actually making that move when it was desperado time, especially when their back was against the wall. And they need to just bring the shit back. Before 2002 was the last one, and then they took a little rebuttal because some WWF stuff was getting taken out of contact because of the sale, the WWF's lawsuit, and everything else. But they brought it back in 2007, I think. They only brought it back for like 3 years, and then they never done it again. So,
yep.
WWE, please bring back King of the Ring pay-per-view and let's do it all in one night. That would show people's durability. You can enhance storyline within that whole pay-per-view, and you're pushing the star that is gonna be getting a good run within the year, as you know we would have done. So by WrestleMania time, the star will be born. Maybe we can have another John Cena. We can have another Rock. We can have another Stone Cold. We can have another Triple H. There's so many other people that we don't give the proper credit to because they went through the King of the Ring stages to become the biggest star that they are.
And build them up,
And build them
up. I mean, that's what made Stone Cold. That's really what made Stone Cold. Start that promo, Austin 3:16.
That's what made Stone Cold. That's what made Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. That made Brock. Absolutely.
It definitely enhanced a few people's careers. So that worked out as well. The only one low ball one that we all got to say sorry for it was Billy Gunn's because they fucked that one up.
Yeah, that one was rough. I want to acknowledge this comment right here. I want to be a little bit off topic a little bit on this one, guys. 6 years ago, today is the day that I had my very first wrestling match. The guy that just made this comment, that was my very first opponent. One of my most memorable matches I really appreciate because now when I watch it, it just looks really bad from my perspective, just from how I know the in-ring knowledge and stuff like that. And you could just tell that was my very first match. But kudos to him because he literally carried me through that whole match. Shout out to Pekovic. Literally one of my dearest friends, one of the helped teach me so much stuff into that match, and one guy that I literally would recommend to any wrestling podcast to talk about wrestling because this guy, he's been around and he knew his stuff. And like I said, he took old white boy from a little southern white boy out here and made him who he was. And I give dear appreciation to him. So shout out to Dark Ninja, aka Pekovic, or if he wants to put his real name out there, Pedro. Woo! But Bad Book also said WWE now ain't the same. I meant WrestleMania is not the same. I say yes and no. I still tune into WrestleMania every year. That is one of the most anticipated shows I look forward to every single year. I mean, there's some things that are way overdeveloped, but there is also just stuff that literally makes you go, that's what we wanted. That's what I like. That's what I wanted to see. Let's talk about that a little bit, guys. What were some of the most memorable WrestleMania moments that you have seen recently? Oh, not recently, just all around.
Drake, you can go first, man.
Okay. Man, oh man. When Brock Lesnar landed on his head at WrestleMania 19, that was one of like an OMG WrestleMania moment. Obviously, it was also Stone Cold's last WrestleMania. And also, man, like when the Undertaker lost at WrestleMania, like I was super shocked. I didn't even want to look. You know, I knew Brock Lesnar hit that F5 probably like 5-6 times, and that last time I was just like, I'm not gonna look. And 1, 2, 3, I was just super shocked. I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah. But I was so criticizing Brock Lesnar. I was like, why Brock Lesnar? Why Brock Lesnar? Why I couldn't been like someone else though? But man, oh man, like that, that was like the recently shocker of WrestleMania moments, and a little sad that I think that following year, or I think I want to say that following year, the Undertaker didn't get that matchup with Sting. Sting obviously took on Triple H, so yeah, it's been a lot of great WrestleMania moments. So them has been the last ones I can think of so far lately.
Yeah. All right, Shiz.
WrestleMania 12, because I remember being as a 6-year-old watching on pay-per-view when Bret Hart lost to Shawn. That was one feel-good moment. I remember that my mom was there watching it with me. Yeah, I think she had some words for Heartbreak Kid. I think she liked them too. WrestleMania 14, I was there in person in the balcony seats as a birthday gift. Shout out to G. Best experience of my life. As an 8-year-old kid, nonetheless. Ones that took my interest, the ones that took my breath away, I think it was WrestleMania 20 because I gotten that one from my aunt, God rest her soul, Auntie Glennie. She was a wrestling fan because of me, and she would tape the pay-per-views that I couldn't watch. So she'll order a tape before me, and when she saw me, she would give me the tapes for me to watch. So I always kept in tune about what was going on pay-per-view wise if I wasn't or to watch the pay-per-view. And two more. WrestleMania 17, because as an 11-year-old, I beat my family for money and gambling. I made all my picks right. And somehow, some way, they did not like that. They thought I knew off rip about what the fuck was going on. I'm like, no, I just followed the show. And I won some good money that night as an 11-year-old kid. And last but not least, WrestleMania 25, Undertaker and Shawn. Because that match blew me away from beginning to end. And I was fans of both superstars. So I could not choose who I wanted to win. I just said, you know what? Whoever wins deserves to win.
Yeah.
And I
agree.
I got a great match out of it. So I wasn't, disheartened by it.
Yeah, I like that one. Definitely the Taker and Shawn matches. I'm definitely gonna say in my category for a fact. Those two tore it down. I really believe Shawn was gonna win the second one. That one torn me a little bit, just how that match went, how it went, because I was just like, oh man, there's no way they're going 2 times. And that storyline just all the way through. And you were just like, Shawn's got this one. Shawn's going to be the guy to put the stamp on that streak and end it. And then when it didn't happen, I was just like, oh my goodness, it's going to be unbeaten. There's no way it's going to stop. So it's just like, what in the world? Like, what's next? And then obviously Taker lose to Brock Lesnar was just like, oh, wow, okay, why not? I guess. Cool. I'm not a fan of Punk, but I actually believe that Punk should have won that one. Or the Randy Orton one, where he did with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 21, I think it was. Was it 21?
Yeah.
In Hollywood, I think?
Yeah.
That was a damn good match too, man. Just Randy in general, that brought him star level into that, just from that match and so on. But obviously, WrestleMania 17 is going to be my main favorite one. Rock and Austin, those two tore it down. No matter what you could do with those two, I'm so pissed that The Rock never could win the fucking match against Stone Cold. That just drove me nuts. As iconic as that rivalry is, it's still hard to believe Rock only won one of those WrestleManias. Out of all the WrestleManias that they've headlined, one. So it's just like, what in the world?
Two, sir.
He only won one.
2.
WrestleMania 19.
And excuse me. Yes, you
have
right.
Heel turn was 17.
I'm thinking about another person in my head. I'm sorry. That's why I said 2. Wait, no, because they had 3. No, I'm sorry. I think
yeah. So it's just like those two were iconic, and I would say that's definitely going to be. But my most changing one would have to be the Daniel Bryan story itself for WrestleMania 30. I thought that was one of the iconic ones. And then I think we got to relive it with the Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania era, stuff like that. But those are the only ones that I can really see like, hey, there we go. This is the one WrestleManias that I can always remember. But have y'all seen that WrestleMania has been fading, or do y'all think it's still pretty high standards, even for the roster it is now?
So it's going to be high standard.
Huh?
It's always
going to be high standard. It's going to be a high standard thing.
Yeah,
that's a 1-year thing. It's like a 1-year festival. It's like going to Woodstock,
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. It's always WrestleMania. Always going to be WrestleMania. It's interesting to see how they go forward now with this 2-night WrestleMania thing. So it's gonna be. Do
y'all like it 2 nights? Do y'all like it being 2 nights?
Way much better.
Yeah,
I agree. From somebody that's been to WrestleMania, man, I was at WrestleMania 33, 8 hours in that heat, and then you just were relieved after the sunlight finally went down. And then obviously waiting an extra hour and a half for Undertaker to get out of the ring because you thought that was his farewell and it was done. I'm still upset that that was not his farewell, even though the match wasn't that great, but still, that was the most beautiful farewell to ever happen. But highly am happy that they are making 2 nights out of it. I think that should be an ongoing, continuing thing. But my thing is, they should cross in some NXT matches into one of those WrestleMania nights, not just literally have the main roster on that thing. I think that would be pretty cool to
that's
present.
Why they have takeovers though the day before.
I say just put it together. I say put takeover and have like takeover competing against the main roster.
Ass show. That means you're gonna be there from what 2 p.m. to what, like 11? That's like filling 2 whole shows, 2 whole fucking shows. That's 8 hours.
I would say do that like as a Peacock special or some shit. I don't know.
It's not gonna work.
I mean, try to do some advertisement out of it, I guess. I don't know.
But listen, you know what NXT is now? What the hell makes you think that's ever going to be on the WrestleMania stage? Pathetic.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Maybe the older ones, but they definitely got a long ways to go for this one. Guys, wrestling, we have AEW winner is coming tonight. Any predictions?
Well, since I am OTTR champ, I'm actually looking forward to this card because this will determine who will be my opponent that will be defending my title against at day 1 coming up after this. So whoever that wins out of Edu, Cyber Yeti, and Big Mike, I'll see y'all then. Not really looking forward to. Well, there's only 4 matches being advertised. You gotta remember it's only on for 2 hours. So I wasn't really expecting 3 out of the 4.
Is this the last time for it to be on TNT? Is this the last one to be on TNT?
Before they move to TBS? Yes.
Okay.
And the move is coming real soon too. So you'll start seeing the more advertising stuff problem for that. 3 out of 4 matches. I can probably tell what the hell's gonna happen. But one I think I'm questioning the most is Dante Martin's and MJF's. That's the one I'm kind of stagnant about because now CM Punk can come out of nowhere, or Leo Ruff can come out of nowhere. Leo Rush can come out of nowhere. Who else I was gonna say? Warlow can come back out and actually screw over MJF and Dante escaping with a victory. Who needs it more? Dante needs it more, but in order to enhance the storyline, MJF needs it more, so I'm split.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I like what they're doing with Dante Martin right now. I like what they're bringing with him. He's bringing some flavor to some new story scenarios. I really like the idea of Wardlow screwing MJF. I think that's just in the works. I think the final match between MJF and CM Punk, I think Wardlow is going to be a big part of that. And I think that's going to be the split of the pinnacle, in my opinion, because factions only need to last so long. You need to kind of like ease them off sometimes. Like if you feel like a guy can go now, hey, take off that brush and just start going. Split them away one by one.
Right now, FTR is still independent gold. They're not going to go the fucking anywhere, and neither is Spears.
I see Wardlow probably easing off a little bit. Based off of.
I just said Wardlow might be the first one out, but the rest of them, they're going to stay. I don't say they're going to stay intact. They still got Tully in their corner, man. Like you don't really need a big guy if you got Tully that still wants to take a bump and shit.
That's what I was like trying to figure out. I was like, I don't really understand Wardlow's purpose unless the big guy, the big muscular guy. So I don't understand.
The big guy that doesn't really talk or probably can't talk, but they want to dress him up in the suit.
Yeah.
Get that.
A polished Batista, even though they're not doing that great.
Cut his leash. Let this big dog loose and throw some meat.
Let's throw a shot. I mean, WWE at least let Batista do something.
That whole Deacon Batista shit that he first started off with.
Yeah. Yeah, at least let him do something now. It's just like, hey,
Who would have thought?
I mean, I don't know much of Wardlow. I don't know what matches that he's done or what.
I mean, he's done a few matches in AEW where like he won majority of them, except for one. I think it was the steel cage with Cody. Was the only one that he lost. So other
has he had a lot of matches?
But other losses that he has was all within like the group as like a whole like collective and shit. Then they'll take they took a few losses too. Whatever. Yeah, he definitely needs to break off and go on his own.
Right.
I think
I totally agree with that.
It's about time to let the big dog. You overstuffed the big dog. Now let him loose.
The big dog's got to be free. Let him go. Let Wardlow go. Hey, we can put a little segment on that. Let my people go. We go. Let Wardlow go. But anybody excited about the championship match tonight? I mean, with Bryan Danielson. My bad. Going one-on-one with Adam Page. Do you think the hype is going to be way too overwhelming, or is it going to exceed it?
Overwhelming.
Do you think it's going to be too much that you think, that you didn't think that was going to happen? Or is it going to live up to the hype that you believe that this match could be?
It's probably going to be underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be underwhelming because now this is the problem with AEW too. Save these type of matches for pay-per-views. Why am I getting this?
That's what I've been saying.
Special within 2 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
But I've been saying this shit on my podcast too, and I'm like, bro, I don't like what AEW is doing when it comes to these type of title matches. Like, no, like it could have been a one-on-one. That could have been the main event. Daniel Bryan could have won. Now, imagine he would have won with the belt was on the line, then that would have been solidified. Then he could have branched off and kept this thing going to Revolution. But they gave us this before the move to TBS, which I'm thinking is the only reason why they're doing this, because they want to make sure they keep that main keep that main stability of fans, no matter if they would have been staying or when they're about to go to TBS. The same people is going to flock over there and make sure that number is still the same. So,
my honest opinion, I think he should make the TNT title the main event. Because TNT is not going to be no more.
Wait, but you already did that, like a couple of weeks before, and look what that happened. And Jay Lethal lost. And this is what I said, too. You should have never brought him in that situation in the first place.
No.
You should have waited out for him. Then that's another pay-per-view match right there. Like, if you're going to be bringing people in, don't have them skip over your main locker room that I'm going to get a title shot before y'all motherfuckers do. What the hell does that say to your locker room? There's other people that could have took the open challenge for Sammy Guevara's TNT title. How come that we haven't seen none of them popped up yet? This is all.
I mean, if you think about it,
some design and shit, man. Like that's one.
They should have put a good heel
right now either.
See, in my opinion, what they should have done, and I think we've even said it before. Why did you have to turn Bryan Danielson into a heel to go against Adam Page? Because now you're not going to have him. You're not going to have Bryan Danielson beating Page right now, because guess what? That's going to bring backlash to your audience. And you're not going to have Page beating Bryan Danielson, because guess what? You just killed the poster guy, in my opinion. Like, you just killed the marquee main guy. So, honestly, it's a bad idea for both right now, because, honestly, like how we've said, it's too early, way too early. Why didn't you have a heel that's been there for a while that you could have had a good story based with Adam Page just to get him started on his championship run? Get him something to just get started on. Why are we getting the Bryan Danielson match right up front? Like, literally, that should be a pay-per-view match. You should not be doing free pay-per-view matches like that on TV to air out free, because guess what? That's what makes your money. And that's what things, I think that's one bad idea that they've got in the booking aspect, because we say it like this. When you see UFC fights, are you seeing Anderson Silva and guys like that fight on the free TV? Or are you seeing them headline on the pay-per-view? Like, literally, like, what guys are we seeing that are your pay-per-view guys compared to the guys that you're supposed to be seeing on TV? Like, I get it. We'll bring some matches, whatever, like what they did with Punk. Regardless of my opinion on how they've been booking him lately, that was something good because hey, you put a match with him, but you're not putting a big heel with him to like kill their cred or whatever they're trying to build in this story. You're just building a match to like, hey, Punk gets up a little bit and it gives a shine to the other guy he's facing. But when you're doing stuff like this, it's just like, man, why? Like, what else is there to really see now? Because I honestly wanted to see the Danielson versus Omega match too before this match, in my honest opinion. Like, I did not want to see, my opinion, I don't see Adam Page still as that marquee top baby face that literally can carry a company. That is just my opinion. I don't see him that way because his mic skills are really, really needing improved. Like the look that he has, he brings like, hey, I'm a badass, but that voice is way too soft to be coming out of that mouth.
It's the same thing the Miro's asked, and he should have just won this whole goddamn thing, won the tournament. Then he could have been more of a fucking threat to Hangman Adam Page. You could have stuck that.
It wouldn't have killed anything.
It would have killed nothing when it came involved with his card. And then you could have said Daniel Bryan for later.
And honestly, they could have put some type of thing like, hey, he comes in the match or comes after the match and starts attacking him. Build it up to the next pay-per-view.
Too. The heel has been beating Dark Order's ass up and down the whole last several weeks.
I really thought Dark Order was supposed to be a heel team.
But
were they supposed to be a heel team?
No, they're a babyface team.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Dark Order, and they're a babyface team.
Yeah,
they came in as heels.
When they first started, they were heels. But then they converted over to babyfaces. That was after Brody Lee passed. God rest his soul.
Right. Okay. Yes.
But what you call it? What was I gonna say? But kicking the heads out of all these Dark Order members. Hangman Adam Page hasn't had one match since he won that belt. And tonight you defending your very first title defense against Bryan Danielson, who's been going all fucking week, all month, all last couple of months. Even on YouTube, he gave us Minoru Suzuki for crying out fucking loud. So, if you mean to tell me that man don't win it tonight, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
He's having fun, literally. Bryan Danielson is having fun with his wrestling run right now.
Yeah.
Absolute fun. But the Adam Page match, the only thing that could make me be invested in this match is if Adam Page goes heel or something. Like, that's the only thing I could see, but I don't see it happening because, like how we've said, it's way too soon. And like how we said with Bryan Danielson, he's been wrestling all over the place. He's been wrestling guys all over.
I'm expecting a debut tonight. I'm expecting a debut. Once Bryan Danielson loses, y'all remember that flickering red light that happened the previous week?
Hey, I thought that was just some lightning stuff they was just doing.
Homie. That's a sign right there. who's gonna walk in that damn door?
Because when CM Punk comes out, the red and white light kind of flick like that too.
That's what I was about to say. CM Punk came out.
CM Punk joint. But this wasn't the CM Punk joint. I mean, this was something else because it added a different color too. Like right after the red, there's another color before the lights turn back on. So you're like, someone's coming tonight. And
who's coming? What do you think?
I'm expecting maybe 4 people. 4.
Oh my goodness.
Ember Rose has got to be one of them. The Briscoe Bros, because of what the hell happened at Ring of Honor's final battle pay-per-view. The Briscoe Bros definitely needs to come and hunt down FTR. Shit, man. Have you seen their promo that they put up yesterday? Like, yo, Tony, you better send that private jet over because we need to go after because you know what I'm saying? We gotta go after these motherfuckers. Like Briscoe Bros, they coming. But the main key one, Bray Wyatt.
You really believe this?
I have a funny feeling. How
many times have you said this before though?
No, I have not said that at all.
I thought you said that one before.
No, I did
Haven't
not.
You said that one before? No, you said Strowman. You said Strowman.
I said Strowman probably would have, but then you seen what the hell happened with him. and his asking price for indie days was way too high, and no independent company was.
There ain't no independent company paying that
only
much.
Bigger companies would have offered, you know what I'm saying, would made that deal. And then he popped the Ring of Honor. But you might never know. EC3 could come out. You know what I'm saying? That whole control your narrative shit. Why not? That's a whole.
I was gonna say EC3. I was gonna say EC3 might make a debut.
Card one because I'm like, yo, Final Battle is Final Battle was just on Saturday. We here on Wednesday. Few days apart. I can picture Tony made that phone call Sunday morning. Yo, guys, listen. I know you guys may not be working right now, but y'all want some place to work for the next like 3.5 months. We'll bring you in.
Final Battle just ended. I see a lot of and that's one thing I wanted you to say when you said 4 guys. I'm like, well, Ring of Honor just ended their chapter, so that is so many opening free agencies
go over there too. They are ready, and then AEW needs to bring up them fucking trios belts, and then we can get the ball, rocking with that.
Yeah, I agree with the trio belts. I mean, you don't see it. So it's something new, something. You only
see that in New Japan though, because New Japan they have them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it works there. I mean, but I don't know if it would work that great here though. For a trio,
it all depends on the promotion, the teams, and what the rules and standards are. I think once you develop like the policy and formula and shit like that, and how like the whole thing works, I think I could probably see it being just as a regular tag team, but you're just doing it in a 6-man tag. That's it. That's all that you're really doing. Regular tag team except you add one person. That's it.
All right, Dre, you got anything you want to talk about for Winter is Coming, man? You got any predictions?
Well, the Bray Wyatt prediction is kind of like the only one I'm kind of like looking forward to if it happens.
I don't see it though. I don't see it. I can't get too excited about it. I don't see it.
I'm not excited, but I think that last hit from last week kind of gave it away. And you know how Tony Khan feels about giving away Easter eggs to say, yo, this guy's coming.
He does it way too early.
And he does it way too early. So you see that happen before. So that's why I'm saying that.
Oh, man.
Other than that, I don't see Hangman Adam Page losing the title tonight. I do see somebody debuting. Who? Not sure. But I don't know. And this match can go. I was about to say this match can go both ways, but definitely I don't.
It better go the time limit. It better just go the time limit.
It was a 30-minute draw.
Yeah, that's most
no
likely.
Contest, and then you can push this thing to Revolution and have a 60-minute time limit that you can fill in a lot of spots to get your audience over. That you can try to give Dave Meltzer's 5 stars.
They might try to do some type of last man standing match type scenario.
Yeah, that might be the only way that might actually work.
Like a best out of 3. I would love to see the best out of 3 falls match back. 2 out of 3 falls matches back.
2 out of 3, maybe.
Like the series. Like you remember how like the different matches were different.
That should have been Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
they should have a 2 out of 3 falls match. Give them an hour.
That's one thing I didn't understand. Like they did that draw and nothing else after that. They literally did that.
I came to fucking see. Fuck the other matches. It's the one main match this hour. So shut up and leave me alone.
Like literally, that's one thing I was really upset with AEW. Like they had us. They had us at that moment with Omega versus Danielson and didn't do anything with it.
Too though, and
I said that too.
But remember, you got them both. But remember, you got Bryan Danielson for 3 years. Well, now
3 years.
Right now 2.5 years. So now you still got time to squeeze in Chapter 2 of Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. Just save it for later.
Didn't he get surgery right now?
Give me the 2 out of 3 falls match on the pay-per-view. Take my money. Take my debit
that's
card.
What I'm saying. If they bring that back, I mean, it's just little things like that would bring the advertising like that jump easily.
But it's going to take a rivalry that's going to have to take it that far. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I said that could be the very first one for AEW that set the tone of this is how 2 out of 3 falls. It's going to be done. And that's cool.
See, this is what I would have done for the Bryan Danielson and Page match, whatever. I would have said put Miro in. Miro would have won that competition or whatever. Got something like that. Or since you just brought Jay Lethal in, turn him heel and have him go against Adam Page. Something new, something bring out, something to give Adam Page a little bit more cred.
Rushing it though, ain't you still bringing an outsider into your locker room and basically saying the same thing that I said earlier? You're jumping the whole locker room that been there since day one just to get a title shot. You're doing the same thing.
What other guys are bringing the name?
No, but you're doing the same thing.
So what guys are they bringing?
Huh?
So what guys would you put in for that? I agree with what you're saying but you're looking at you need star power.
But look into
There's not that many.
I don't give a shit about the star power. You got the star power there. Get the others over because they're gonna be your next foundation of stars going forward. Going forward within the next 5 years. Stop worrying about Jericho. Stop worrying about Dean Ambrose. Stop worrying about Kenny Omega. Stop worrying about CM Punk. They're only gonna be here for a short period of time. They're not gonna be your.
What are you gonna do after? That's it.
They're not gonna be your backbone like you're trying to build MJF to be your top heel. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin to be your top babyface. We think that they've been doing for 2 years. They're still not ready yet. Because why? You still got the
that is our reason.
Just brought into play saying you guys are not ready, so we gotta be your stars right now.
We gotta carry the ship. Like that. That's one reason why I saw when they said when Bryan won the match against Miro, I was just like, why? Too soon. Like if they bring something different with it, maybe, but I did not see it.
But people said the same thing about Miro when he came in, but then just like, oh, look at him being skyrocketed. But he was a person that needed to get that push anyway, because look at what the last company had did to him in that scenario. It was compared to what Bryan Danielson was in WWE before he came over to AEW. He was still main event. He still main event a WrestleMania in a triple threat match. Come on. He doesn't need that notoriety right now, but obviously Tony Khan is one of us, like a wrestling fan. So we're looking from a wrestling fan's perspective of how he's doing his booking right now. And the way that he's doing it, I would have done it differently. Basically.
For him to have that business aspect, I would have expected a little bit more of, hey, this has got to be a pay-per-view.
With a bunch of yes men and think that your word is always gold. It's not.
Yep.
This is what Vince McMahon knows. But apparently it's too late for his ass.
There we go.
It's like he even said he doesn't have friends. He don't believe in friends. You know,
right.
So
he ain't lying. I mean, obviously with the stuff that's going on with his family, I mean, what else can you say on it? I mean, Vince has been doing this shit forever, ever. So it's like, I really thought Hunter was going to be the guy to really start taking it soon and shit like that, but I don't know now. With the health issue, maybe Hunter even said, hey, I can't do this no more. I can't be on the road every day. Like, that heart attack could have probably been caused just from him lack of sleep, shit like that. Like, shit adds up. Like, that stuff is a tough gig to run. And, I mean, I do give Vince props for doing it as long as he's done it. Because not many people can do it. And I think Tony Khan is starting to realize it.
Man. I'm sorry about you, but I'm smelling some divorce coming.
From who?
Stephanie just might leave him, or he might just leave the family. Just be like, you know what? I can't do it, Stephanie, man. Like, nah, I'm done.
You think so?
Your father and I, like, this is it. Like,
all right.
And break away, take your bread, take your stocks, sell them, and start your own company. Then you go and do whatever you want, and then you could be Vince.
Hey, I got a Disney reference. So, you remember the show?
I'm not doing shit.
No, I ain't worried about it. But what I'm saying is, remember Hercules, where he was talking about the song, I Can Go the Distance, I'm Going My Own Way, or something like that? There you go. Triple H splits from the McMahons and goes his own different way. Maybe bring back Ring of Honor or something like that, but there you go. But I agree with you. I've actually said that numerous times. I was actually surprised as long as Triple H has lasted in that family, because that's got to be a tough ordeal. And man, oh man, would that lawsuit be outrageous?
No, that divorce would be outrageous. The divorce would be the start of it, but then with Triple H,
child support. Oh my lord!
Goes and sells his
she don't need it.
Take his money. Vince is gonna be like, oh my god, is he about to get ready to do this? And then Sean says, "Yo, release me. Like, I'm done with this place too." They start
I could see it happening.
If
I could see that happening.
NXT, and they jump ship to, you know what I'm saying, to be with Triple H, and start this whole promotion off. I would not buy it because you know what the hell is going to happen next. Half that locker room is going to want to leave and go straight to Triple H and be like, no, you booked me better than what the fuck did your ex-father-in-law used to do. Let me go. Let me come over there, man. I'll take a pay cut.
I agree with you on that.
It's
kind of like, I would say, like a college coach or a football coach. It's based off of, who treats the players better. Like, literally, like we've seen it in college football and stuff like that.
Then. So this is some extension team that's about to happen.
Oh my goodness, Shiz is over here Armageddon for WWE family, I guess.
Maybe. Listen, Shaman Man wants nothing to do with the business at all. So what's gonna happen? You can't pass the keys over to him. You know what I'm saying? Steffi does not know how to run a wrestling company. I'm sorry. And Linda is already in the White House. She's not demoted herself to go back to this. No. Once Vince dies, it's like, yo,
there's the Shiz we know.
Bidder, and whoever is the highest fucking bidder, it's gonna walk away like a fucking bandit. Target so much money that he or she can, and that's it. People's gonna be like, oh shit. I'd be like, yep. This is the day that WWE had died. And this identity will never come back to fruition. Never.
Oh,
whoever is the new owner, please don't come after me. Because I may be foreshadowing some shit now, but I have a funny feeling Disney is probably gonna be one of the front runners. I mean, there could be some unmarking French billionaire out there or governor that probably wants to buy it and transform it into some other shit. I don't fucking know. Somebody out there got money that is willing to pay Vince a whole lot of fucking money just for that one company. This is my new toy.
I mean, look at the example, Saudi Arabia. I mean, how much money they fork out for that. But I mean, the talent
never happened. And the whole United States, that would never fucking happen. The country
no. That's what I'm saying. But just the money perspective.
Shit,
so
imagine
for the longest time, I would say you're wrong.
Shit, imagine Donald Trump bought it. Imagine Donald Trump buys WWE. Imagine.
I mean,
hey, he was president.
No one out of all of them, you picked Donald Trump.
I mean, I don't trust America no more. No, that told me when Donald Trump got elected for president, you don't need military background experience. You don't need you need no Congress experience, no nothing. All you need is to be a main face to just say, maybe I can lead this country to do better things, and I got the money behind me to do it. Who's supposed to go tell me no? And all I need to do is just make some buddy with some governors and shit like that, whatever. And I'm in the game. That's it. That's my ballot. What the fuck if Donald Trump just calls up Vince and hey, Vince, hey, Vinnie Mac, I know you ain't doing much nowadays anyway, and I'm not going to go back to do this whole presidential election shit anymore. So I need something new to do. So you trying to sell your company to me or what?
Some of the outrageous stuff you could say sometimes.
Seriously, man, the Vince could be like, well, how much are you offering, Donald? Donald could be I make you a good offer that you can still run the company, but I still get a nice little briefcase every month. That he don't even gonna pop up and say nothing. Let Vince just take over the show until when some bigger shit corporate happens, Donald can come right into play. Boom.
It wouldn't be a kid's show anymore. I don't believe that for sure.
Nope. It would be it would be a fucking Confederate flag somewhere in that auditorium.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
Each and every
you better get cut off right now.
Wrestling had truly died.
This guy over here saying the Confederate flag. Oh lord, my head hurts now.
Die if Donald Trump buys WWE.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Shiz is on a roll again. My goodness, have mercy.
Shit, man. Anyone in these NFL teams? Robert Kraft, he still got his money. Shit, there's a lot.
So you believe Robert Kraft would buy WWE?
Jerry Jones could potentially buy.
Jerry Jones would buy WWE.
Jerry Jones would definitely buy him. Quick. Are you serious? And all that he got to do is pass the shit down to his kids. That's done.
See, a wrestler's perspective. Like, we've had former sports owners own wrestling promotions. How well is that done? Other than what AEW is doing right now, how well is that done? Not great.
I feel as though if anybody by WWE and is not in it for making
making it better, making a product.
Yeah, making it better. Then all they gonna do is just sell it and
sell it away.
And sell it away. That's it.
It's never gonna be gone. I just feel like it's just gonna sell away.
No, it's gonna sell, but it's gonna be sold in a way where that person has to stay committed for like a decade before they even think about reselling it again to somebody else. So you have these IPO stockholders being iffy about the product, and then now you lose the sponsors, and now you're really dying because without that extra money, how can you pay your talent? How can you pay your production? How can how you be able to pay to rent out the venue? There's a lot of reasons why Vince doesn't want to sell it to just anybody, because if that was the fucking case, he would have been done it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done it as long as he's done.
So it's going to take one person like Tony Khan's dad underbidding him or lowballing him because there ain't no other competition out there left. So why not just buy it or just give it to my son? And that's it. That could be another way too, but that would really be like, okay.
That would be a controversy ordeal.
That would definitely be Fox taking over AEW.
I would see that being like an invasion storyline. Like AEW would bring an invasion storyline, and then obviously they would stamp it where they won or something like that.
They'll kill off WWE because you're on AEW soil now. Basically, that's a big fuck you, Vince, because what the fuck did you do to ECW and WCW? You did the same exact fucking thing. And Karma came back to bite your old ass, motherfucker. And this ain't no kiss my ass club either. It's a shoot you in the ass club.
Shoot you in the ass.
On some Rico shit, man, from Paid in Full, man. Yo, you want to say turn around, motherfucker? Boom. Run off, Vince.
Oh, Lord.
And Drake knows that.
Oh, Lord. Shiz is on fire again, ladies and gentlemen. But, all right, guys.
This is a hood movie reference now.
Oh, man. Paid in Full, though.
No, he did.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord, I love it. Shiz always love the energy, bro.
Man, so you better be careful about who the fuck that you sell this company to. Because if Roman walks, you definitely got a problem. Because if Roman walks because he's like, nah, I'm not working for this guy, I'm out of here, just release me, or I'll go to
I think it's health. I think it's health-wise, bro.
You would have the locker room in full-blown mutiny if he walks.
Yeah.
So
well, hopefully Bad Book is okay.
Whoever is
hopefully he's all right. He said tornado sirens are going off, so hopefully he's safe and hopefully everything's okay.
Man. Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody just says a praise out to Kentucky. I mean, that tornado that took them out, man. Oh my goodness. Also, guys, a big shout out to the video game Indie Pro 22. They're actually doing proceeds of merch, whatever proceeds go to the victims and stuff of that tornado attack that happened in Kentucky. Guys, any last words, any last shout outs, plugs, whatever, guys? I mean, we definitely
catch me and Cyber Yeti coming up next on the Irish Wit podcast against Big Joe and Big J. Shout out to you guys. Cyber and Big Joe's gonna squash their beef finally, and hopefully this actually goes well. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to you too, of course. Shout out to Button with Warlow. Shout out to 1130 Pod, Talk Pro Wrestling and everything else like that. Basically to all America, be smart, be courteous, love one another, motherfuckers, but don't love everybody. Be careful about who you pick, because blind loyalty can be a bitch. I learned that this week.
Bro, I literally had like a visual of the Sam L thing when you sit there saying motherfucker. Like literally that could be. Dre, you got anything, bro?
Hey man, this been dope. Another Commission Talks episode. Sorry I had to roll downstairs for a minute. That's why my camera was off. But As always, you guys, man, this is always a blast, man. I thank you, Warren, Shiz. I want to thank everyone who support the 1130 podcast. Appreciate it so much. Just the channel got monetized, so I appreciate everyone who supported. And just keep telling a friend about the 1130 podcast on YouTube or Talk Pro Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts. And also follow my new IG page. If you haven't heard, I got hat. Go check out that new episode also at the 1130 podcast _. Other than that, man, I appreciate you guys.
Oh,
hey, guys.
The first ever TTR trivia game show is coming soon to a podcast near you.
It's under works. It's under works.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
It's under development, y'all.
Hey, man. All right, guys. Also, we want to say a shout out to Bonfire for making all these lovely merches that we are pretty much rocking in ways. The links will be below, guys. Come out, support our podcast, buy our merch. Christmas is right upon it. Why not get an awesome OTTR shirt, hoodie, slides now? The man is he's going all over the place now. OTTR Nation is going around.
Book bags too.
Oh, he's got book bags too. Yeah, there you go. I just got a little tote bag, so I got excited about that.
Secondary merchandise store at teesprings.com. Just type in Off the Top Rose Podcast in the search bar. You'll find our stuff.
All right, guys. The links will be below. Also, 1130 podcast. You see that awesome hoodie that Dre's rocking, man. You see he's got a red, white, all these awesome colored ones also. Check him out. Go on his Bonfire store. Support the podcast, man. This is what we do, what we're doing, guys. We want this to help grow. We want y'all to enjoy what you see every week, and these help us, obviously, train and make us bigger, more down the road, whatever. But, guys, I appreciate y'all doing this. I hope everyone has a great week. This has been another episode of Commission Talks. And ladies and gentlemen, we're out.